We are back live. We are back live. Hmm. Mm. Mm. Trying to figure out this lighting. Let's see. I had it a second ago. Trying to figure out this. I stay back here. We back. We back. Somebody trying to trip me up. I don't know who's trying to trip me up, but somebody got their eye on me and they trying to trip me up. But let me tell you, no weapon formed against me. Thank you. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Whoever, whatever is trying to trip me up, nothing. Mm-mm. Trying. This is day two. Day two. We're something's trying to get me out of my routine. I know I sound like a crazy person. Let me get live on Instagram over here. Something trying to play my face, and I'm not here for it. Try to play me. You play yourself. That's what Prince said. Mm. Live over here on Instagram, live on Facebook. Let me go ahead and post about this on Twitter real quick. Let me go post about this on Twitter real quick. Ooh. Thank you guys for coming in here. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Facebook. I don't like my lighting today, y'all, but it's all good. It's all good. Welcome in. Welcome in. We'll get started once we get it back to where it was. Let me at least get two folks in here and then we can get on in there. And let me share it real quick. Ah, thank you, friend. Thank you for sharing it. I'm going to copy the link. Let me share it too. Can't share that. It's all good. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I am trying to get things back going the way they're supposed to be going. You like, oh, you like it? I feel like you're missing out on the colors though. Like if you go on Instagram, you can see all the right colors. But this blue, what did Beyonce say? You can't put blue light on a black girl. I can't trust them. And get rid of what did she say? She said that because she was like, and I hate all that ugly blue light. You can't put blue lights on black girls. That's what Beyonce said. Oh, okay. So we'll get started in just a moment, y'all. My computer's taking a very long time to do the things I needed to do. And all I want to do is just share this onto Twitter. That's it. That's all I want to do, but it's all right. It's all right. We in there. We in there. Y'all, welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. we finally have an episode going, y'all. Welcome to I can't with this blue light. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to change it. I can't. It's bothering the heck out of me. That's a little bit better. That's a nice blend. Yeah, let's do something a little warmer there. Turn that up. Down. Turn that down. Turn that up. I got too many light options and I feel like I just need to get one good light. You know what I'm saying? But we good over here on Instagram. We're good here on Facebook. We're back, y'all. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that we're back. I'm hyped now. Like I'm hyped. Like it's actually we're here. I see people are here, and I'm so excited for one. Before I get into all my introductory stuff, I am very excited. I wanted to show y'all this yesterday, but like my friend, one of my internet friends, Byron, he created a brand called the Luxury Kingdom, and this is his first item. This is his first item. So y'all go follow Lux Kingdom on Instagram, and it is called theluxurykingdom.com, I believe. I did not write down the website, and I should have done that. But I'll tag it on my Instagram post, and I'll tag it in the comments after for the playback. But I'm so excited and I'm so proud of him. He's one of my internet friends. I think we've been internet friends since MySpace. Y'all remember that MySpace? You know, and I'm so proud of him because I watched him. We've never actually met or anything in person, but we're good internet friends, and I've watched him make some pretty bold moves. He moved across the country just on I got to get out of here and did that. So I'm super proud. I'm super proud of him. I'm so proud of him for starting his own clothing brand. So had to get very East Charlotte today for this East Charlatan, sorry, not charlatan, but charlatan creation, so had to get in my bag today. So I'm excited. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. We are back for the new year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, y'all. Welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. I started doing this last year, at the end of last year, because I have some goals that I want to accomplish. One of those goals being I want to actually finish all the books that are in my house. I have so many books in my damn house, and I have not finished. I've started some of them. I've actually finished maybe a handful, but I have so many books in my house that I still haven't finished reading. So I'm just here we go. I want to finish the books that I've started or I've purchased. I want to finish those books. So one way for me to do that is to read them aloud. That makes it interesting for me, and it also helps me accomplish some of my other goals. Another one of my goals being get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience, because what I want to do in my future involves me sitting in front of a teleprompter, looking directly into a camera and reading from a teleprompter or a cue card or something like that. So I want to get more comfortable with doing that. So that's another reason why we're here reading a book aloud and talking about it. And then I want to get more comfortable speaking in front of people, in front of an audience, and engaging with an audience and not being shy about that. And this is starting as Reading with Miss Taylor Said, but there are going to be so many more ways for you to listen to me run my mouth, and eventually there's going to be live shows when we get back into when we not get back to but when we evolve into the world where we're able to be around each other in public again. When we evolve to that, because it's going to take an evolution. There's no going back now. There ain't no take backs. So we just going to have to evolve into a world where we can do it. But when we get to that point, we are going to we're going to have live shows. There's going to be live shows. It's going to be my book, that I'm sitting there reading and talking to y'all about. But it's also going to be other authors. I'm going to be sitting across from other authors and other writers, and we're going to be talking about, I mean, we're going to be talking about these books. We're going to be talking about the things that people create and the things that people write. So I'm and I've never thought about that until I didn't think about that detail until just now, but I'm feeling it right now. I'm so excited. It's an honor for me to wear something created by a friend, because it lets me know that we can make we can manifest our dreams, and we can make them tangible, and we can make them real. Like I'm wearing my friend's dream right now, and it's a blessing. And that is a perfect way for us to get into our book, Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. We are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. If you are joining us for the very first time, we started this book last year, and we are in chapter 3. I like saying we started it last year because 2020 is a thing of the past now. 2021 is where we're testing what if we learned anything, test our might in 2021, but 2020 is a thing of the past now. So last year we started Abundance Now. Last year we started Abundance Now. We made it to chapter 3 finally, and the reason why it's taken so long is because of the fact that we are the reason why it's taken so long is because of the fact that we're having conversation about it as well. If you haven't watched Reading with Miss Taylor Said, At this point, you can go on Instagram or Facebook and literally search Reading with Miss Taylor Said. You can search the hashtag Reading with Miss Taylor Said. It's on my IGTV and it's on Facebook. When I get more devices or more streaming capabilities, we'll be on more platforms. But as of right now, we're on Instagram and we're on Facebook. But we started reading. All of the videos can be found on Facebook. All of them are found on Facebook. I think I started on Instagram a week after I began. So if you want to start at the very beginning, go back on Facebook and just search Miss Taylor Said, or Reading with Miss Taylor Said. We are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance now. And let's see, we left off, I'm just going to do a brief overview of what we left off on. Last time we were in chapter 3. The last section we were looking at was hit the reset button, how to reconnect and heal what you're responsible for. So in that one, we were going through different ways for you to acknowledge things that hurt you, take responsibility for how you played a part in it, honor the hurt feelings that you caused, tell the other person that you learned an important lesson and commit to doing something differently. And so just ways to deal with, instead of having confrontation and conflict, but the word she used was carefrontation. So confronting issues or confronting differences with people, but with care and doing it with love. My darling love, one of his many things that he says to me that are just jewels, is, oh gosh, the truth without love is not righteous. The truth without love is not righteous. So when you are going to go deal with someone or deal with a difference you may have with someone or a conflict you may have with someone, like when you're telling them the truth about your experience, do it with love. And if you can't do it with love, don't do it until you can. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into the next part of chapter 3, the next section. I am just not having a great time with my lighting here on Facebook, but it's all good. As y'all can, I don't know if y'all noticed, I changed the chalkboard. Y'all can't see it on IG, but you can kind of see it. I changed, the colors are kind of dark, I see, but it's all right. It says Reading with Miss Taylor Said, and I drew a sunflower. Anyway, that's not really relevant, is it? So the next section is called Become Intentional About Creating High ROI Relationships. That's return on investment. In my life, I've achieved my goals, built my business, and improved my lifestyle faster than I would have been able to do with my own knowledge and skill set, simply by getting into relationships with people whose achievements, mindsets, and strategies I wanted to adopt. The return on my investment of time and attention to these relationships, the payoff in knowledge, growth, revenue, and lifestyle has been astounding, which is why I call them high ROI relationships. As part of your abundant life, I want you to seek out, develop, and maintain high ROI relationships of your own. I want you to create a diamond field of intellectually, spiritually, and emotionally fulfilling relationships that when you need them, immediately give you something you didn't have before. Woo! I at this point don't even carry relationships that don't give me that. I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful because it's we feed each other. We help each other. We are helping each other grow. Find experts whose mindsets are worth adopting. When I teach my program participants to seek out high ROI relationships, I tell them to start by finding multiple people who represent those things you want to be, do, or have. Not every person will be living the spiritual life, running the business, investing the kind of money, and pursuing the unique lifestyle that you want. And certainly no one person will do all of these things. That's why you have to seek out multiple people and ask them to teach you how to do what they do, but most importantly, how to adopt their mindsets. For example, In seeking out someone who could be my spiritual teacher, I want to become as graceful, spiritual, and grounded as she is. I may not necessarily want to have her financial life, but I want her spiritual awareness. In the case of the gentleman who teaches me about money and finance, it's not so much that I want to have his wealth, but rather I want his lifestyle freedom. When I look at my friend Ivan Misner, who's the founder of BNI International, I want to have Ivan's unique combination of business success and life harmony. In every area where I want to grow, I know exactly who I admire and aspire to be. When you are choosing your role models, choose people who are at least 2 steps and ideally 10 steps ahead of you in that particular area. So there's room for you to grow into their level of success. There is space to grow in that direction to the point that if you grew to just 25% of who they are in that area, you might end up 50% to 100% beyond where you are now. Additionally, when you are looking for someone to help you amplify your life, look for people who will challenge you in an encouraging way. Not only should their presence challenge you in an encourage, not only should their presence challenge you to move out of your own way, but they should be generous with details on how they achieve their success and be able to break down the process of their success into smaller goals that you can adapt into your own goals. Of course, when you find people to learn from, I recommend that you find out everything you can about them. Saturate yourself with who they are, not just how they do business, but what they eat for dinner, how they treat their family, how they conduct themselves in social situations, how they approach opportunity in crisis, how they deal with others, and so on. Really look at who they are as complete persons because guaranteed who they are in one area crosses over into other areas too. Their personality, attributes, and character will have multiple layers of influence on you. One final caveat: don't think that your mentor needs to be a professional speaker or trainer. Very early on in my life journey, I realized that valuable advice and mentorship doesn't always come from these professionals. There are people who are literally nearby right now who are teaching you grace and humility and servanthood. They are teaching you forgiveness. They are teaching you resiliency and determination. They may be the people who are closest to you, people you're taking for granted. Look around and be aware. Whose mindset and habits are you absorbing right now? Lisa. Lisa came through with the word. Lisa came through with the word right there. Whose mindsets and habits are you absorbing right now? Listen, the people that I choose to speak with regularly are people that challenge me mentally, that challenge my ideas. And when I say challenge my ideas, I mean, it's never hostile, but we have conversations where it's just like, I feel this way. I feel that way. I feel differently. Share. And granted, I will say I learn a lot from the people around me, um, because in a lot of ways, the people around me are they're not where I want to be because I don't want to do what they do, but they have certain things and certain resources that I want to learn to be able to obtain and maintain. So right now I'm learning from those around me, but I would love to have a mentor. I don't feel like I've really gotten to experience a true mentor that gets where that gets me my vision and those things. Like I don't think I've really gotten the opportunity to have a true mentor, that is someone that I can contact regularly. There are plenty of people, like one of my far away mentors where I'm just watching the moves that they make and studying them and things like that is Kev on Stage. Kev on Stage is my mentor to me. He don't know me though. He doesn't know me yet. So I'm not able to call him up and talk to him about, well, I was thinking about doing this and I want to do that, you know. So the mentors I have now are far away people. So like a Wanda Webb, Francesca, from Hey Friend Hey, Hey Friend Hey. You have people like I just said Kev on Stage. Kev on Stage is a huge one for me, but different people like that. And I follow them and I look at what they're doing, and I look at the way that they their mindsets and things like that. And I listen to a lot of the things that they say and a lot of things that they have. I just pay attention to their stuff. Um, but I don't have somebody that's like physically, I can just call them up and be like, hey, mentor, what's up? I missed you. Can we talk? I got some things I want to sort out and brainstorm with you. Let's chat. I don't have that right now. It's okay. My helpers are coming. My helpers are coming. Lovey said that today's her birthday. Happy birthday, Lovey. She'll never see this, but she was saying that the way that she manifests people to help her is that when she walks into a room, she says, "Let my helpers find me." So that she verbalizes what she wants to attract, and what she's attracting is are her helpers and the people that are going to help her bring her vision to life. And so I'm right now, I'm just like, I don't have a mentor right now necessarily, but my helpers will find me. Y'all will find me. They'll find me eventually. So the next section, we're reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. If you're just coming in, welcome in. We are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. And the next section is look for people who inspire you. Because we always get a little ahead of ourselves, don't we? Where can you find people who are positive, empowering, and inspiring, and who will challenge you? Everywhere. But a surprising fact to most people is that you don't ever have to meet your mentors in person. I was just saying this literally. You don't have to score lunch with some big wig or convince a Fortune 500 CEO to work with you on a regular basis. I'm going to add my own one in there. You don't have to choose between if you would pick $10,000 or lunch with Jay-Z. You don't have to do that. Sorry, I just like to pick on Rock Nation Brunch Twitter and LLC Twitter. But I'm reading this, whatever, capitalism. Um, I've learned from many people who have helped to shape my character, but whom I've never met in person. So give yourself permission to access people who are both famous and not so famous. For example, Nelson Mandela inspired me with his capacity to forgive and his commitment to lead the largest forgiveness movement ever known, walking side by side with the men who guarded him in prison. He taught me that no act, violation, or betrayal is too big or too hurtful to be forgiven. Mother Teresa inspired me through her humility and service. She had a quiet voice, yet she worked with such commitment that she never had to market herself, shine a light on her that she never had to market herself, shine a light on her mission, or advertise her good works. She inspired me to be the conversation I want people to have about me, regardless of who might be watching. Stephen Covey inspired me with his prolific thinking and with tools that helped me navigate towards new behaviors and eventually elevate my life. To begin your search, look for people who inspire you. Use the internet to read about them. Sample their advice. If they write for a magazine or a newsletter, for example, or watch YouTube videos of their, excuse me, use the internet to read about them, sample their advice, in parentheses, if they write for a magazine or newsletter, for example, or watch YouTube videos of their speeches or TED Talks. When you find individuals who have the expertise or mindset you want, investigate whether you can follow them and circulate in their world, either in person or through their literary works, audio programs, television or radio shows, videos, and more. Of course, the best part is that this immersion, which can often be on par with a master's degree in their subject matter, is free of charge. I followed this path at first. It's how I developed my business acumen and the skills I needed to build my training company. Today, I hear frequently that the internet is how people find me and start circulating in my world. Me. They see me on YouTube, on television, at a public event. I love to hear the stories of how people stumble upon my advice and distance-based mentorship. In fact, some people say they start watching on YouTube and are still watching 3 hours later when they finally look at the clock. Eventually, I get to meet them in one of my live trainings. But by the time I finally do meet them in person, because they've so thoroughly immersed themselves in my advice, they know the stories I tell about Jelani, the story of my early years and the history of my financial journey, and the fact that I was on government assistance. They can literally finish my stories exactly the same way I tell them because they've immersed themselves so thoroughly in me and my worldview. That's how I am about Lisa Nichols Loki. Because, like, by the time I read some of her stuff about, like, Jelani and all that, I've heard that story like 10, 15 times because I watched so many of her videos. She's another one. A couple of years ago, at my Speak and Write to Make Millions program, Nadia Vincent from Belgium was able to finish almost every one of my stories as I was delivering them from the stage. Almost before I said the words, she was silently mouthing them at her seat, almost as if she were queuing up my lines. While I had never met this woman before, I approached her at the break and asked how she knew my entire history. I watch you on YouTube every day, she replied. Nadia came all the way from Belgium to learn from me at that event, and eventually she started coaching with my team too. Oh, what helped her gain traction so quickly is that she already felt like she had a close relationship with me before we ever worked together. She had already adopted my mindset, skill set, and approaches long before we ever met in person. You too can use the internet to immerse yourself in a future mentor's world. Um, I love this. I mean, because I think we all do this to a degree. Like the people that we look up to that may have an internet presence, I feel like we all do this to some degree. It's kind of the way to do things now, especially in 2020 when you can't do anything but be at home on the internet, like we are now. Um, um, what I was going to say is that this was written in the Obama years, and while that stuff was all very accessible in the same way that it is now, things are different now. We in a new time, a new era. You know, we in some weird ass pandemic times. So, you know, keep that in mind when we're reading this. Do your due diligence is the next section. I'm gonna back up, see if that changes the color at all. It doesn't. It doesn't. It still makes me blue over here on Facebook. Do your due diligence. Researching a potential advisor thoroughly is paramount in importance. But luckily, today, conducting due diligence, careful investigation done in advance, is easier than ever. Unlike when I started out, which involved researching possible mentors using the yellow pages and referrals from dozens of people, now there are many different ways to research somebody, including social media and websites, books, magazines, and newsletters, subscribing to their blog, searching out other people who have worked with them and had a positive experience, and hearing them speak at business conferences and industry events. Don't circumvent this due diligence process. I'm amazed at how lazy we can be, wanting results and information without putting in the research time. Our Google society has led us to expect everything instantly. We want to instantly walk away a success. We want to Google download financial security. We want to instantly obtain a lifetime of industry knowledge. Life just doesn't work that way. As my grandmother used to say, baby, the best things in life are not created in a microwave. It's the microwave generation rhetoric is tiring. It's tiring. I'm gonna keep reading, but that's one of my least favorite rhetorics. That we just want everything easy. Like ah. Anyway, finding the best high ROI relationships for you is going to require mixing the ingredients, preheating the oven, letting it bake for a while, and waiting until it cools. Your success, your joy, and your abundance has got to have time to take shape. As my friend Ivan Misner told me recently, it took him 24 years to become an overnight success. One final thing, just so we're clear, I don't believe that all critical information destined to transform my life needs to be free. If I have to invest in the due diligence process by buying a book, subscribing to a newsletter, or buying an hour of someone's time for a consultation, I consider it money well spent. After all, I'm about to put my future into this expert's hands by following his or her advice. That advice is something I want to check out in advance too. I definitely am here for investing in your future. I mean, clearly, I bought this book. I have purchased master classes. I have definitely invested. I've downloaded lots of free PDFs, and I have Audible. That's another thing that I invest in because there are audiobooks that just you get one a month, and it makes it so much easier for you to take in that information if you can't physically reach a person. But consultation money, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's worth the money. It's worth it when you're investing in yourself because that's what someone's doing when they're getting a consultation. They're investing in themselves. So the next section. Sorry about these big quiet gaps. It's been a minute. I'm still getting used to being back up here. It's been a little minute. Um, determine how. What time is it? Okay, not so bad. Oh, it's only been 30 minutes. I don't know why I feel like it's dragging today. Determine how you can contribute in return. As you do your research, look for ways that you can contribute to the advisory relationship. Be willing to invest in relationships where you don't just come with your handout, seeking what you can get. Look for ways to approach the other person with your hand extended, offering what you can give. Here's why. Busy people are used to being asked for things. Successful people are always being pulled in a million different directions. Your request is one of many. So set yourself apart by envisioning how you can add value to their lives too. Ooh, this is good. Now this is good. Spiritual Twitter and the spiritual side of Clubhouse, they talk about this a lot because a lot of people will, like people that are diviners, people that do divinations and readings and stuff like that. Um, welcome in, welcome in. We are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. People that do stuff like that, they are, what were they saying? They were talking about how a lot of people will try to take free stuff for them, and they have to go through a lot in order mentally and spiritually in order to give this information to people. Like, and so when people ask them for free stuff on the internet, it's just like, nope, I have a website and I have a website and you can go contribute to that. And, you know, it's like equivalent exchange. If you want that energy invested into you, you also have to invest something. Like, so if you want somebody to use their powers to help you, whether it's it's a networking type of thing or a spiritual type of thing, whatever, if you want them to use their powers to help you, you have to know that all magic comes with a price. Everything comes with a price. It's in Full Metal Alchemist, um is you have equivalent exchange. You have to give something of equal or greater value. So, just remember, come with your offerings. Come with your offerings. Um, When I decided I wanted to learn about corporate structure before I built my company, I sought to understand the process. Soon thereafter, I spoke at a business conference where Jim, a corporate attorney, was also a speaker. Everyone pulled on him. In fact, he was booked for 35 meetings over the multi day conference with people just asking questions, many of whom would not move forward and become clients. But Jim served anyway, and served and served and served. Okay. And served. At the time, I knew I needed a lot of help. I was clueless about how to start a company. In fact, I was so confused that I didn't even know the questions that I should have been asking. I was lost, and yet at the same time, I was one of the top speakers on that same stage at that same conference. What did I do? I swallowed my pride, became humble, and asked his if I could be his girl Friday, just so I could sit in on those 35 meetings. If I could be his girl Friday. She capitalized girl in Friday, which Friday's supposed to be capitalized, but I don't know why she capitalized girl. I don't know if that's a term, girl Friday, but sure. Now remember, I was one of the top speakers at this conference, yet I was about to walk off the stage and become Jim's clerical help, getting him coffee, making his copies. Oh, okay, got you. Okay, so she was trying to be his assistant. Okay, caffeine. Making his copies, stapling documents, getting signatures from newly signed clients, arranging lunch, and being his number one all around gopher. When Jim agreed to let me slog through the entire week for him, I was thrilled. For the first few days, I sat, listened, and absorbed. I also got coffee, brought him lunch, tracked down new clients for their signed documents, and took massive notes. Jim, on the other hand, never took any. He would simply talk to people and say, Lisa, make note of that. As I worked away in Jim's meetings, I could see the confusion in people's eyes. After all, here I was, one of the event's headline speakers who had delivered a powerhouse speech that brought people to laughter and tears and closed with a standing ovation. Yet during these meetings, I was taking notes, getting coffee, and making copies. But I didn't care about people's perception of me. I was working for my breathtaking future and felt like this man knew something I needed to know. Come on. I was clear that I wanted my dream to be bigger than me. I wanted to build a major training company, and I was willing to be the gopher for Jim because this man understood corporate structure. Part of my due diligence ahead of the conference had been research on what a PPM was and what ROI was and how terms and conditions worked in an agreement. I had done the research, but I still did not understand any of what I had read. During the 33rd meeting, however, Jim asked me if any of it was starting to make sense. I got it, I said. When he verified that I understood what I needed, he said, "Yep, you got it." He even went on to present the financial component during my first few investor meetings. While investors didn't bite until I was able to present these numbers myself, what I learned from Jim helped me raise my first $532,000 in venture capital. Okay. Ooh, she kind of got me on fire in there. Okay. Cause wow, that's real right there. That's like Prince working as a janitor in the record where I don't know which record company it was, but he worked as a janitor in a record company so that he could just be close to it, so that he can see how everything works. Child, don't man, man, listen. I'm telling y'all, if I ever meet Kev on stage or anyone in that immediate staff, that's what I'm gonna do. Like in his immediate like circle of or ensemble, that's what I'm going to do. Can I just follow you and write notes, please? I just want to learn. I love doing that. I love shadowing to learn. Mm, wow, what an opportunity, right? So the next section is be equally intentional about the quality of your closest friendships. This is my favorite. I love talking about friendships. The process of finding high ROI, and if you don't know what ROI means, is return on investment. The process of finding high ROI relationships can teach us a lot about developing high quality friendships too. While you may not proactively research and seek out friends the way you would a mentoring relationship, you can certainly hold high standards for friends' intelligence, opinions, and character. Then approach them with ways to be in service. Become a rocket booster friend yourself before expecting that from others. And then she has a quote. Lots of people want to ride with you in the limo, but what you want is someone who will take the bus with you when the limo breaks down. Oprah Winfrey said that. Grandma Oprah said that. Along the way, Building supportive, nurturing, challenging, and intellectually stimulating friendships with people who know you well and who will be there for you for the speed bumps too is one of the best investments you can make. The next section, friendship. I know, right? The next section is, let's see what time we got. All right, we in good time. We in good time. How close we? We still got a little ways to go to finish this chapter. We got a good ways to go. We probably gonna finish this chapter by the end of the week, by Thursday. Create your new community. When you look at the quality of your current relationships and don't quite like what you see, when you know what you need to when you know that you need to make a change but don't want to dump your friends wholesale, it's time to work proactively building a new community. What do I mean by community? It's a group of like minded, forward thinking, and evolved people who are invested in seeing you prosper. Not so much financially invested, but physically, energetically, and emotionally invested for sure. Your wins and those of others in the community reassure everyone that they're aligned with winners, and your achievements help them feel more hopeful and joyous about their future too. When you are living in abundance, your community is filled with supportive individuals who serve you and whom you can serve in return. You learn from one another. You share wisdom and ideas. They're sounding boards for anything new you want to do. Because you'll be spending time, talents, and treasures with these folks, it pays to be intentional about what you want and be intentional about those personal attributes you're looking for. For instance, my co-author, Janet Switzer. My co-author, Janet Switzer, and I, tend to align ourselves with business owners, or at least those who are investors or top executives in their companies. We speak the same language, experience similar challenges, and have a similar point of view when it comes to time off, travel, and family obligations. When we want to go to Europe for 3 weeks, for instance, we just plan that trip and go. When we need to urgently address a family crisis, we clear our calendar and handle it. We stay at each other's homes and show up at the same conferences. Everyone in our community is pursuing the same lifestyle, striving for harmony and the financial security that comes with our own effort. Your community might be different, but there are a few hallmarks of every strong community: optimism, vitality, loyalty, family focus, creativity, compassion. They're all important. They're all important enough to your abundant future to focus on building a community around them. Yeah, I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed to have the community that I have. So blessed to have. I wrote a status today talking about the women that I walk with and how we all have the same battle scars. We have the same battle scars from different swordsmen. Same same kind of sword though. The same kind of pain that influences the women that we are. And these are specifically women that I share this experience with because it's only an experience that a woman can really have. Um, and it's just so good to see people dedicating their lives to being themselves and committing to themselves to be themselves. And those are the people I want to walk with. Those are the people I want to make community with. The people that want to succeed and also like make the world a better place. They're not selfish in their desires of success. They want to make the world a better place. They want to help other people be themselves. They want to see you just be you, and they want to value you and who you are as yourself. It's so refreshing. It's so refreshing. Like it's the conversation, like y'all literally, I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful to God, to my ancestors, to my folks like that are no longer here, for protecting me and putting me in a situation where I haven't worked since June. But if I was working, you know what I wouldn't have time for? I wouldn't have time to connect with people. I wouldn't have time to do hours and hours and hours of verbal processing and growth conversations. And I wouldn't have time to do that if I was working. It would be very difficult to do, and I would be so drained from what work takes from me that I wouldn't necessarily have the time or energy to do that because of, yeah, I wouldn't. So I'm just so thankful that I get to do things like this. I'm so thankful that I get to be on the phone with my friends and people I care about throughout the day, every day, really, because it's not just, oh, we just gossiping and talking shit with each other. No, it's growth conversations. And we're going to and we've gone to therapy, or we're going to therapy and we're talking about those things. It's just, my group chats are lit and full of growth. you know, what are we looking at as far as time? We got 8 minutes. We got 8 minutes before it's 7 o'clock. All right. All right. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful section. Be a magnet for the kind of people you want to attract. Unconsciously, we attract people who are like us. In a way, the manner in which we conduct our lives becomes a magnet for others who have the same values. Come on, what I was just saying, outlook and mindset we do. We attract those who have a similar level of achievement and goals. When we talk to one another, we are instantly understood. Not only that, but we're enchanted by one another, which means not only do we take great delight and enjoyment in the relationship, but we're charmed and want to spend time with each other too. Who they are as people makes us want to circulate in their universe, stay connected often, and do things together. I enjoy when I talk about what's in the next section while I'm making summary of what was in the last section. I enjoy when that happens. Um, Not only that, but we're enchanted by one another, which means not only do we take great delight and enjoyment in the relationships, but we're charmed and want to spend time with each other too. Who they are as people makes us want to circulate in their universe, stay connected often, and do things together. We're excited by what they're up to. They are equally charmed by us. And when we get together or talk, the feeling of anticipation, possibility, enthusiasm, and the wow factor is off the charts. That's what a truly enchanting relationship looks like. Ooh, I am feeling this in my heart. We have a sort of innate filter for attracting and then allowing familiarity with this type of person. The problem occurs, however, when we turn that filter off for convenience. The problem occurs, however, when we turn that filter off for convenience. Our intuition is trying to talk to us, but we're not listening. Some time ago, I was engaged to be married. Eventually, however, the relationship turned emotionally abusive and later physically abusive. I broke things off for my own safety and Jelani's, and I would have loved to say that I didn't see it coming. As a matter of fact, I told the story for 4 whole years as if I had been blindsided. I shared how romantic and loving he was and how all my friends exclaimed, "Wow, does he have a brother?" Ooh, that just triggered me. Ooh, okay, sorry. When I told, ooh, ooh, I wasn't ready for that. Oh, you just got yourself a good man. He's such, that was the one I used to hear. Do you know? It'd be people that go to church with him. He's such a good man. Oh my gosh. You got yourself a good brother. Oh, he's so good. Ooh, ooh, that just, ooh, it hit me in the spot. Anyway, when I told of how the abuse started suddenly out of nowhere, that story became my truth. But what was really happening in that relationship? Ooh, ah, she about to do that thing. She about to do that thing called accountability. Oh, she about to hit us with accountability. Hold on, here we go. Day after day, I was ignoring my intuition. in regard to this man. Y'all, let me just tell y'all, I don't know, Lisa don't know me, but she wrote this as me. I was ignoring my intuition in regard to this man. I had stepped away from my GPS, my God placement system. I had closed my ears to the whisper that said, pause, slow down, this doesn't feel right. I ignored the signs that told me he was prone to outbursts of bad temper. I was quiet when he used sharp words towards me, excuse me. You've probably experienced times in your own life when you didn't listen either. But when you don't listen, the whisper becomes a knock, then a firm knock, then a scream, until eventually it does something drastic to make you pay attention. When you don't listen to your intuition, it starts as a whisper, and then it becomes a knock, and then a firm knock, and then a scream, until eventually it does something drastic to make you pay attention. Let me tell you about how 2020 did that. Let me tell you about how 2020 did that to so many of us. Baby, listen, that's usually what it takes for me because I'm hard-headed. I'm hard-headed. I'm hard-headed. So it usually takes the excuse me, that something don't feel right about that. Excuse me, ma'am, something don't feel right about that. Something don't feel right. Just come on, hey, I'm trying to get you away from this situation. But okay, since you're not listening to me, boom, devastation. Let me give you some devastation so you'll listen. Right? Oh, all right. See, I'm gonna finish the section. Listen to your intuition. If y'all didn't learn shit else in 2020, your intuition. You already know what you need. You know it. You know. You know what your inner voice says. You know what and when I say you know what you need, I'm not talking about the things you were programmed to do, the things that you do by default because of conditioning. I'm talking about that thing that when you dig deep down inside and you think about your inner child and what makes them feel safe, you know what makes you feel safe. And how you and if you're in a situation and if you're thinking to yourself, I wish it would be like this. I would feel better if things were like this. That's your intuition telling you you need to do something to adjust it for yourself, whether that's leaving or standing up for yourself so that you can get the things that you need so you can feel safe. Listen to your intuition because your intuition is always trying to protect you. Listen, every time I didn't listen to my intuition, every single time in my life, I have come against hardship. Every single time I didn't listen to my intuition, I came against hardship. And then I found out later that the whisper that was keeping me up at night, the still small voice that was right there in my mind, right there, telling me what I needed to know. I wasn't listening to it. Listen to your intuition. You already know. Ooh, don't get me started. It's 2021. I ain't holding my tongue, y'all. Y'all, 2021, we're not doing that. We listening to our intuition and we doing what the fuck we need to do so we can elevate. All right. All right. This is the last paragraph, and then we getting up out of here. Oh, happy Tuesday, y'all. Happy 2021. While you don't want to be picky in attracting the kind of people you want to have around you, and you don't want to limit your flexibility, you do need to become firm and explicit about what are non-negotiable characteristics for you. Listen, see, that's where I'm at. I'm putting the book down because that's going to be that's it for today as far as the reading goes. That's where I'm at. Becoming non-negotiable about the characteristics of the people you want to have around you, because it's not necessarily that the person is bad. It's not necessarily that the person is bad. It's just that their life and their choices and their decisions are not in alignment with the kind of decisions you want to make. There's some, like, one way for me, and this is what I was just saying about how your intuition is usually trying to keep you is trying to keep you safe, and also kind of like that reference point is, does your inner child feel safe? So one thing that, like, I have some people now, like I've had some people over the last few years in my life that I've evaluated how I want them in my life by, if I had a child, would I feel comfortable leaving my child around them and feel safe knowing that physically they will not be endangered in any way? Mentally, they will not be endangered in any way. Emotionally, they will not be endangered in any way. Like there's no chance that anything they see or hear or experience when they're with this person is just going to be totally out of alignment with how I live my life and how I would raise them and how I exist. That's one way for me to kind of give me a good reference point on how I pick the people I want to be closest to and share the intimate parts of my life with. Because it's just like, if I don't feel like I can leave my child with you that don't even exist yet, if I feel like you gonna do something raggedy around my child, why do I even want to have you around? If you're not somebody I would leave my kid around, that means that there's something with your character that needs to be addressed. There's something with your integrity, your morals, your values. There's something that makes me feel like you're not safe. And if you're not safe for an hypothetical child, are you really safe to be around other people without damaging them emotionally? And a lot of times that's the reason why they get checked off my list, you know? And I know that, I mean, I don't mean to sound, I hope I don't sound superficial or anything when I'm saying that, or dramatic when I'm saying that, but it is dramatic for me because I'm like, I know how it feels to be influenced by a lot of people that had no business influencing me. Right, right. I wouldn't leave my plants with some of these people. Bro, if I can't leave my plant with you, no, I'm not gonna do that because there are a lot of good people that don't have a green thumb. But yes, yes. If I don't like, because at the end of the day, the people that share intimate space with me, the people that share intimate space with me, yeah, they don't have to love the thing like I love the thing. They don't have to care about the things I care about in the ways that I care about them. But because they love me and they know that I care about it, they care about that. And they'll treat things with care. They'll treat my things with care, whether it's my plants, my hypothetical baby, my ideas, my feelings. They'll treat those things with care because it is valuable to them and it matters to them that they treat me with care the same way I treat them with care. And that they share the same values. Like I said, it's really, a lot of it is really about the values of I feel like I'm being long-winded, but like it's really about sharing those values. Because if because if you don't, if you're not, I'm trying to gather the words the right way. If you're not, if your values are not in alignment with somebody, that can be harmful to you. That can be harmful to you because if you got to, because it's exhausting to sit there and trying to discern if somebody has good intentions with you. Because if someone shows you that they can have negative intentions with you and it be something that they're trying, like they're trying to, trip you up. They're not wishing you well. They don't like what you got going on, but they're saying certain things like, you know, I had a friend that told me about how a family member insulted her creative project and was like, I don't think you should do it like this or like that and all that stuff, but you should let me help you. No, no, because if you're going to walk in and just immediately insult, don't come with love, the truth of that love is not righteous. It's not. And there are a lot of people calling themselves real when they're just giving you truth without love. And they think that their meanness and their bullying and their bluntness and their lack of care for your feelings for the sake of truth is righteous, and it's not. So do things with love. and find other people that do things with love and can be held accountable. Really, y'all, if you find people that choose kindness and do things with integrity and love and just try their best to make sure they're not harming others, that's usually you're at a good start, I think. But that's just for me. Different things for different people, different values, and people have different values, and they can have different values. But they got to find the people that share the same values as them. All right, all right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, and let's see what some of these comments say. Um, those are the type of friends you want to have, that they care for the things that you would because they care about you. They see the same value and understanding as you do. Yes, Sorante, yes. It's because that becomes your family, you know? That becomes the person that you like you leave your kids with when you go out of town, or you go over there for dinner on Tuesday nights because you know y'all get along and you share the same values, and you do things together and you build community together, and because when I think about the community bits, I think about the village, and it's so important to me that the village of people that I have around me are people that I trust thoroughly, that I trust thoroughly. And maybe I'm being picky right now, but I'm being protective of myself and my future because um in my life I haven't felt as protected. So I'm going to go ahead and get a head start on protecting that now for my children and for my family and for my future, so they can always know and feel like they've been protected. And I hope that as I grow into a better friend, because it has taken me a long time to become the kind of friend that I want to be. I hope that as I grow into a better friend than I am today, which I'm always working to do that, I hope that my friends feel protected by me and they feel embraced and loved by me as well. So let's see, you've got another comment and then we're gonna get out of here for real, for real. They become people who respect and who respect the things you do and love, no matter the opinions. They show love, and therefore you show that love back. It's a repeating circle of love. Yes, yes. And energy can be transferred. Gosh, I can't think of how Eddie Griffith said it, but you know, when you put that energy out into the world, even those thoughts into the world, like it comes back to you in different ways. So, move with love, y'all. Move with love and care. Folks is hurting right now. Folks are hurting right now. It's so much terror in our world right now. So much travesty in our world right now. Be kind. Do that. One more thing before we go. One more thing before we go, y'all. If I can get my computer going, I want to make sure I put this out there. I know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? The Luxury Kingdom brand by Byron Graffiti. Very proud of you, friend. Y'all go copy you a hoodie, and I know he's gonna have more merch available soon. So I hope that y'all have a great night, and I'll see y'all tomorrow at 6. Have a good night.